Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now is a four-time NFL MVP, a Super Bowl champion, a Mount Rushmore football player in the history of football, and now the quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Ladies and gentlemen, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah!
Good to see you, buddy.
Hey, great to see you guys.
How are you, man? You're a Pittsburgh Steeler. Hey, okay, it's the first time talking to you since you've become a Pittsburgh Steeler. How does it feel, and what has it been like over the last few weeks getting to know the boys?
Oh, it's been great, man. I really enjoyed it. I had a great 3 days out there for minicamp with the boys. Did some individual work, but mostly just kind of watched on the side and talked to Arthur and Tom Arth, and I had a good time, man. It's fun. I was doing a bunch of events out there, so I got out there, went to Tomlin's house for a barbecue, went to Cam Hayward's house for a barbecue, did Cam's golf event on the Monday, had a good time. So just meeting the guys, get to know the guys. It's strange that there's no names on the back of the jerseys, so it's all facial recognition, and I'm pretty damn good with names, but it would help if there was like a name on the back that you could, lock that in with some of the guys you haven't quite fully got to talk to yet.
You got to get into the program, but for sometimes...
I've been in the program, though. I've been in the program.
No, but I'm saying spring ball, there's some guys that aren't in the program, because there's guys that are... Yeah, that's what I was going to make an excuse, because this has happened to me, too. Special teams, guy on the punt team, 57 comes in. Hey, Bob, don't want to disrespect you right now. I have no idea what your name is. Somebody should have... Understand that trying to get in the building, had to do it with the Jets. Now you're doing it with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I want to let you know from outside looking in, feels like it's going swimmingly. Feels like from all the things we're learning from Kaboli inside the locker room, he said he's creeping around the corners watching. He said you're making great headway with the relationships amongst your teammates and the way it's all kind of responding. How important do you think that is to have a relationship with your teammates? And how important was it to be signed with the Steelers before mandatory minicamp to get some face time? Like, was that a thought whenever it was coming into the timing of when you would join a team from the beginning, or kind of how did we get to that point?
I had conversations with Mike T every single week, and it was really through those conversations that this became a reality. So, I think most people who come to the Steelers talk about one of the reasons being Mike T, and I can say, that was right at the top. Just the conversation that we had. Felt like you're talking to an old friend, honestly. So I really appreciate those conversations throughout it. I really love Arthur. I want to send my love to him. I obviously did it personally, but the passing of his father last couple of days was, sudden and very sad. So Arthur's a great man, and really enjoyed conversations with him during the process and out there at minicamp. But it's been really good. The guys were great. They welcomed me great. It's fun in the quarterback room. We already got a great group chat that's going good. And Mason, Skyler, and Will have all been great. So it's been really fun. I had a really nice 3 days on the field and then 4 days before that with those guys.
Will Howard talked about how you said, "Hey, I don't want to overstep my boundaries here." Okay, with Will, I don't want to do too much, but I'll be here however you need me. Obviously, we all watched what he did in the college football playoff last year, where he took that Ohio State team after the bummer loss to Michigan. The bummer loss to Michigan, which he was probably concussed in, and multiple other people as well. Certainly. But nonetheless, bad loss to Michigan after an early fumble to Oregon. They kind of sneak in and are underdogs all of a sudden in the playoffs, and they catch fire, and Will Howard plays ball right in front of these eyes, because we were on the sideline. That was better than anybody we had seen all year. I mean, you're talking about making every pass. He's a big son of a bitch, and he was friends with his entire team. What have you learned about Will? And whenever you go up to him and say, "Hey, I don't want to overstep my boundaries," are you legitimately just trying not to big bro him there? Like, is that what you're trying not to do? And do you feel that amongst the entire locker room now that you're like actual OG in entire NFL and have been for a couple years now?
Well, I think even though I come in with 20 years of experience and 17 as a starter, like, there's still a part of earning your stripes and paying your dues. And even though, I come in with that, that past and that background, I think it's important to to come in with humility. So that's what I've been trying to do with the guys. And in the quarterback meetings, and I told Tom Arthur, quarterback coach, this, I'm not going to speak up. I'm not going to slow things down. I'm going to study back at the hotel room and ask you questions on the side. I'm not going to interrupt the room. However, as we get into this, I want to help those guys out. Mason's played a lot of football, so does Sky, but Will's a rookie. And so I pulled him aside during one of the days, and I said, listen, I want to help you as much as possible, but I'm not going to overstep my bounds. If you want assistance, I'm here, buddy. I want to help you. From the playbook of my own mistakes and things that I needed to learn from, that's where everything's going to come from. And if I can help you become a better player this year, that would be an incredible achievement for me. Because number one, he's a real good kid. I mean, he's a sweet kid, and he's had a lot of great success, at the college level. But I was impressed by him. Obviously, he worked once the rookies came out in May. I thought he looked really sharp. He made a bunch of great throws. I think there's definitely some things I can help him with, and some things that are different at the pro level. And I'd love to help Will and set him up to have a chance to be the guy for the next who knows how long. I think that's part of the opportunity. It's not the job. I've seen other veteran quarterbacks talk about it. It's but it's the opportunity. The opportunity to help Will out is one that I really am looking forward to, and excited about getting back there to Latrobe in just a few weeks, I guess, and getting things going.
Yeah, St. Vincent's, good time. The thought of you wanting to pass the torch to Will Howard and pass the game on to Will Howard is like such a perfect fit for the Pittsburgh Steelers, because growing up in Pittsburgh, I think I didn't realize that other places weren't like this, but the Steelers are like a college. Especially because there's only been a couple coaches over like a 40-year period. So like everybody feels connected. The OGs come back. It's just like alumni is coming back. I think they still run some of the same calls that have been called since like Steel Curtain days, so that whenever alumni come back, they feel like they're a part of it. You obviously were a part of the Green Bay Packers organization, which is obviously storied and very much a similar franchise in a football town like the Steelers. But have you, in your research or your experiences thus far, kind of felt that about the Pittsburgh Steelers? Like the outside perception looking into the Steelers culture is what you thought it would be, or have you noticed anything about it?
Well, I mean, you got to say there's a few cornerstone teams in the NFL, and I was fortunate enough to play for one of them for 18 years, and now I'm fortunate enough to be back on one of them. There's only a few of them. They're kind of the core teams. Not that the other teams are any, I'm not dissing those other teams. It's just there's a history of excellence in Green Bay, going back, starting in the 20s and the run in the 60s, and the stuff that we accomplished. There's 13 NFL championships there. Pittsburgh had a run in the 70s with 4 championships, and then Ben got 2. They got six Super Bowls. There's a history of excellence that comes with a team like this, where when the alumni comes back, the names. I think there's something special about that when they can roll out a ton of Hall of Famers, and it's a pretty cool deal. And then you got a Hall of Fame head coach in Mike T, who's who's one of the coolest guys I've ever been around in the game, and I'm enjoying that friendship that's building. I'm enjoying sitting in the meeting room and listening to him talk to the team. I love it was a weird experience in the best way for me to not take team reps in the minicamp, because I just got to watch. So I just was watching and everything, and I don't miss a whole lot, So I'm watching the dynamics between the offense and defense. I'm watching the dynamics as the leadership starts to show what it is, and I think that's the thing is really exciting about Pittsburgh is the built-in leadership that already exists there. And once we get our Hall of Fame outside rush backer signed, you're talking about another guy who's a leader, not just by example, but by with his words. But Cam Hayward, from the jump, the conversations that we had before I was even signed, and then at the events that I went to at his house, and then at the golf course, just being around him and watching. He's like the old G of the team, and maybe he's happy to not be the oldest guy on the team anymore. But I love watching his leadership and watching him go about his business. And there's a lot of great leaders in the team. Just talking to Minka, what a high football IQ that guy has. It's been really interesting just to watch him practice, and then to have to pick his brain in the locker room. And there's a lot of great Pat Queen. Getting to talk to Pat. I played against him a few times. He's a dog.
Yes.
But there's some guys you don't know about that I think you're going to start hearing about as we get past this lull in the sports world and get into training camp and football season is around the corner. There's some real good young players that got a chance to make a name for themselves this year.
Can't wait to watch all of it come together. And you chit-chatting about how it is in the building is a reason why Pittsburgh is a football town. Always has been, always will be. And on that note, you have won over every Yinzer that I know. AP Tone has a question for you, Aaron.
You, Aaron. This is awesome.
Hey, buddy.
When they put out the tweet with the highlight of you turning from Packers to Jets into the Steelers uniform, that was surreal. That was awesome. You were asked about winning a Super Bowl this next year or whatever, and instead of saying and what that would mean, and instead of saying that would be my second Super Bowl, blah blah blah, you said it would be 7th for the team. So just want to let you know the city really appreciated that. But all those leaders you just mentioned, a lot of them on the defensive side of the ball. It is a young offense with a young offensive line, young wide receivers. DK's obviously been in the league for a while, but he's new to the team. So what do you think your role is going to be as far as helping the young offense? You're going to bring them out to Malibu. How do you think that's going to go?
Well, I really want the mantle of leadership on offense, and I'm going to earn it every single day in training camp. But there's some stability, I think, that I can bring, having played in a similar system for a long time and having just played a ton of football. I told the guys in the first meeting, I want to pass on my knowledge. I played 20 years. And I want to share those experiences with you guys, with whoever wants to learn, offense, defense, team, whatever it is, about life, about football, about the mistakes I've made and how to learn from those on the field, off the field, professional, personal, business, whatever it is. I want to pass on everything that I've learned to these guys. But on offense, there is good leadership. DK is a lead by example guy, and he's a big reason that I'm in Pittsburgh as well.
Hell yeah.
Conversations that we had, and just the kind of person that he is. And it started here. I didn't really know DK at all. And, he's like, I work out at 6 a.m. every day. I'm like, okay, already. This guy has discipline. This guy has a drive. I said, how about 8 o'clock? Because I have to drive from Malibu to UCLA. He said, yeah, that's fine. So he's not just a specimen, but he's a really solid human being. Like he is a solid dude, and he leads by example. The way he practices, and that's, I think, one of the most encouraging things is the room goes how the top dog goes. And when DK catches the ball and finishes 60 yards to the end zone, it makes everybody else want to do the same thing. And you're talking about guys like Calvin Austin and Roman Wilson, young guys. Then you got some older guys who played some football, the Robert Woods and the Scotty Millers of the world. I really like the tight end room. Tone, I know you do too.
Yep.
Pat Fryermuth is my locker mate now, which is great because he was the one that was DMing me the most on Instagram.
That made Fryermuth's putting a recruiting hat on. I like that. I respect that.
He's a super talented guy. He can do a lot of different things. He can block at the point of attack. He can split out and run routes. He can run choice routes. He can run seam routes. Then you got Big Darnell, who's an on-the-ball tight end, like a true Y tight end. He reminds me of Sadie's, size first and foremost, because he's 6'8" and he's pushing the 3 bills. But you would think, big guy, can't, he's that big, he can't run. No, man. The last play of the entire minicamp, he caught a seam down the middle against cover 2. I think I don't know if it was Will or Skyler threw it, but it was a great seed down the pipe, and Darnell just hands catch, into the end zone. And then Connor Hayward, Cam's little brother. Connor is a super talented guy who's he's like a Swiss Army knife. He can do it all. He can block, he can move, he can slide across the formation, he can catch the ball and move, he can run choice routes. So I really like that room. In the backfield, you got Jalen. Obviously, I've been a fan of his. He was more of kind of a third down changeup back. with Najee, but he's going to get a chance now. We got a young rookie from Iowa.
Hell yeah.
Who's working out with us, real good kid. We got Kenny Gainwell, who played won championship in Philly. Who's a great change-up back. So, and then up front, the right side is all second-year guys, starting with Zach at center, who they all love.
Mountaineers.
And he looks the part for sure. We got a right tackle coming back from an injury last year. And then, we got a vet, Isaac, at left guard, and we got Big Broderick at left tackle, who we're expecting big things from. So it's it's exciting to watch the guys practice and to think about, what I can throw in there, my own energy, enthusiasm, and knowledge. And but it's it was fun to being out there. Kind of got the juices going for sure, even though I wasn't able to take any team reps. And then as far as coming out, telling to finish it, we're gonna. I know, coming out to Malibu might not be high on everybody's list, but we do have some guys coming out next week, so it'll be fun to spend a little time with them.
Oh yeah, they're staying in the house, coming over. We walking the beach. We got Apollo coming around. We're doing the whole thing.
Well, you got to, some of these guys might want.
Fair.
Yeah, there's not a private beach for you, sir. Especially with that dog. Hey, Apollo, star.
Yeah, I put him upstairs. He's not going to make it.
How is
showing,
Apollo?
I'm sorry.
How is Apollo?
He's getting big. He's over 40 pounds now. Shout out to Brandon and Faith and everybody who was training him for a few months. He came home really well trained, and he's a husky, so he's a little aloof. He likes to explore, but
a lot of energy.
But a lot of energy. But he's a great dog. He makes my life better. He's up and at him at 5:30 every morning. Like, come on, Dad, what are we doing? Let's go.
I'm gonna shit right here. You're gonna let me outside. Yeah. Okay. What are we? Are we gonna have a good time? I would like to use a little bit of energy. Dogs are the best. We had a golden retriever, I believe.
Yeah.
Clinically tested the dumbest dog of all time.
Great pup.
Great dog.
Great name.
Great.
Sweet
smart
dogs.
dog.
Sweet dogs.
Then we got Valerie, half pit, half Shar-Pei. She's the best. She's beat cancer 4 times. And then we got, Valerie's the greatest. And then we got Chuck, this fat corgi. This guy's a stubborn prick. This guy is stubborn. They all have their individual personalities. Apollo's personality, going to be a good Steeler? Like, we think Apollo's going to be a good Steeler dog out there in Pittsburgh?
He's a cold weather dog. Huskies are cold weather dogs, so I think he's really looking forward to that snow. There's some great videos online of dog owners who got huskies and their husky doesn't want to come inside, laying out in the snow, covered in snow, just like loving life. He enjoys going in the ocean, and when I hose him off and jumping in the pool, he likes being cool. He's
got vibes.
A cold weather climate. He's a cold weather dog for sure.
That's great. I'm excited for you both to experience Pittsburgh for an entire football season. Obviously, you've experienced Green Bay. Pittsburgh does get a little bit different, I will say. Connor has a question for you, Aaron.
Yeah, Aaron, great to see you. Great catching up. It feels as though since you signed with the Steelers, it's been, I won't say more candid, but it does feel as though there's been a different vibe from you. Is it, safe to say that this is your last year playing? As someone who, wants to savor everything, I would like to know when it is your last year, just because every time you're running through that tunnel, it'd be incredible just to say, like, hey, let's make sure we really appreciate what's going on here. Is that something you've thought about? Is that something that you know for sure? Or are you also just kind of taking it week by week, seeing how your body's feeling and seeing how the mind feels as you go throughout the season?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is it. That's why we just did a 1-year deal. Steelers didn't need to, put any extra years on that or anything. So, this was really about finishing with a lot of love and fun and peace for the career that I've had. I played 20 freaking years. It's been a long run, and I've enjoyed it. And what better place to finish than in one of the cornerstone franchises of the NFL with Mike Tomlin and a great group of leadership and great guys in the city that expects you to win.
Congratulations, man.
Hell yeah.
That's a tough decision to get to. That is a tough decision to get to. I'm just going to, state the facts of it all. Whenever you commit your entire life to something and you get to a level where you become, remembered and considered a success story and everything like that, there is a part of you that thinks, okay, I can do this forever. I should do this forever, especially because I can do this seemingly forever. Then there's a battle of like, what is life though? Is this what my entire life is going to be? Is this going to be my identity? Is this going to eat up all my time and my energy and my thoughts? I would like to focus my brain maybe on some other things other than just playing football every day. So like the combination of that, how your body feels, and then it's a hard decision for anybody to make. So the fact that you get to have one final year seemingly clear-minded and understanding that that's the situation, like, good for you, man, because we've been with you for the last 5-6 years?
Yeah.
There's been a lot of these conversations, and they're tough, and it's tough decisions that you have to make. I mean, there's obviously, I think every time it comes up, people don't take it or consider it enough of a potential outcome with you. For when you went into the hole, I think retirement was a real thing there. I don't think a lot of people thought it was, but I think it was a real thing. Then the Jets, the way the whole Jets thing happens, I think you do think to yourself, man, was this a mistake? It seemingly didn't go how I thought it was going to go. I thought retirement was a real option this offseason. I don't think anybody else really thought it. For you, it seems like it was. And then at what point do you switch the gear and go, you know what? Can't go out. Let's do one more run here and see if we got it. Is that kind of how the decision got made? And when did that kind of all happen?
I mean, I think it's not really can't go out like this. It's I love the game, and there's been a beautiful relationship. It was my first love when I was 6 years old, dreaming about playing quarterback and being in a Super Bowl and winning the Super Bowl. And, I think I wanted to be all in, and I had so many other things going on in my life that were taking my mind and my energy elsewhere. And that's why I appreciated how Mike was the entire time, just being able to have those conversations, honest conversations every single week was really meaningful to me. And the way that I was welcomed in was really cool. I wanted to be there for minicamp. Once, I decided I was going to be all in, but I didn't need this. I didn't need it at all. I don't feel the need to prove anything to anybody or don't have any chip on my shoulder that I need to hold on to. I don't want the attention. I know that's a narrative out there. When this is all done, you won't. It's Kaiser Sose. You won't see me. I won't be in the public. I don't want to live a public life. That's why it's so strange what's going on right now with my private life, because I don't want to live. I don't want to live a life in the public eye. I'm not going to be in the public eye. When this is done, I'm done, and you won't see me. And I'm looking forward to that. But while I'm in it, and for this year, I'm going to give the Steelers everything that I got, and empty the tank, and be super comfortable and satisfied with whatever happens. Obviously, we dream about playing at the highest level in the biggest games, but the fact that I can come back to Pittsburgh, play for Mike, get to know the organization, be a part of a special franchise that's had such incredible success, and be able to play and follow in the footsteps of the Terry Bradshaws and Franco Harris and Lynn Swann and Jack Lambert, Mean Joe Green, and then all the guys that played in the 90s and the 2000s, Jerome Bettis and Big Ben, all-time greats. And just to be a guy that can put on the same uniform is pretty special for me, and that's all I need this year. It's just to go out there, have a chance to compete. That's why I'm working so hard, because I want to put myself in a position to be able to play 20 games this year and 20 great ones.
Yeah, we scheduled this in between your two-a-day workout plan that you have, and we appreciate you taking the time to chit-chat with us. And if my relationship with the media in the public was the same as yours for 15, 20 years, I think I'd want to disappear too.
No doubt.
I think I'd be okay with just kind of not having to deal with that whenever it was all said and done. But I want to let you know, we're going to enjoy every moment of this season with you, brother. Okay? We can't wait to watch what you do with that Pittsburgh Steelers team. Now, we would be remiss if we didn't bring up a moment that is happening with our close friend, something that happened to you in recent years. Go ahead, Ty Schmidt.
Yeah, Aaron, first and foremost, great to see you as always. Glad that you're going to be playing this year. Really looking forward to it. How does your Achilles feel? You obviously look like you're in incredible shape. Do you feel like you're kind of close to where you were before you tore it? And then, like Pat mentioned, I mean, I'm sure you saw it. Friend of the program, Tyrese Halliburton tears his Achilles in Game 7. Had a long post about it last night where I think he's still kind of just in shock. Obviously, he's a lot younger than you were when you tore yours, but what kind of advice would you give to him as he's going to come back? Because obviously, you kind of defied all odds with getting back as soon as you did, but it is looking like he's probably going to miss all of the next NBA season.
First of all, stack up all those things that he can't do. That's good little fuel when you're in the rehab room and you're picking up freaking marbles with your toes, and it's, the most annoyingly painful experience. Like, give him all those things that he can't do. I don't know him personally. I really enjoyed watching this postseason. He hit more big shots in one postseason than many guys hit in their careers. Because Obi's on the team, and Obi Toppin and I have worked out together out here on the West Coast, and he's such a good dude. But I followed TJ when he was coming up out of Arizona, and was like, man, I hope this guy finds a niche in the league, because I just love the way he plays. And then I love the way they played, and they beat our Bucks, in the beginning. And they did that to every team. They wore them down. They picked up full court. They had incredible defense. They moved the ball on offense. They had great role players. I mean, their bench played great the entire series. But watching that game the other night, after you have an injury like I had, you know what it feels like, and you also know what it looks like. So when I've seen guys tear their Achilles, whether it was Jermaine Johnson for us, or Phillips for the Dolphins, or Jason Tatum, you're like, oh, that's an Achilles. I knew it right away. And your heart just goes out to him, because I know that feeling to be on the ground and your whole memories and goals. And for him, Game 7 to win a championship is flashing through his mind. And then the fact that he was out there dealing with what he was dealing with in Game 7 shows the type of player and person that he is. Advice, short and sweet. Go to Dr. Elitrosh, get the speed bridge if you want the best. I was 40, trying to come back. He's 27, I believe. Is that right?
25.
Yeah, he's younger than that.
He's 25. He's 25. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't count him out at all. I mean, I felt really good coming back from it. I felt great last year. My left Achilles felt incredible. And it's still obviously thicker than the other one, and you deal with some atrophy in that calf. But it's all about it's the rehab. If you want to come back quicker, you got to attack it. It's got to be your main focus. It's got to be your everyday is rehab, and it sucks, and it's a long year. But man, I'd love to see him come back and at some point next year. I think they're a good enough team they could, get into the playoffs, and maybe he can come back. Next spring at some point.
Hell yeah.
But I think for him, and I don't know him, but I would just guess based on the type of competitor that he looks like, that the higher you stack the odds against him, the more likely it is he's about to do something that defies, what would seem to be common sense about timetables.
Oh, yeah. Voted the most overrated player in the league this year. Think about that.
Yeah. And then he hits how many game-winning shots and
4.
How many big plays, and
yeah.
I mean, that was an incredible run for them with Coach Carlisle and Lloyd Pierce, who I've known forever, way back going to the mid-2000s when he was coaching at Santa Clara. So shout out to Lloyd. He's one of their assistants. Awesome dude. But, yeah, I love watching them play and just was pulling for them. Not that I have anything against OKC. I mean, they had a great team.
Of course not.
Those guys
of course
too.
not.
But,
Of course. Shane's a great player.
But watching Hallie when he comes in your show and knowing Obi, I was pulling for Indiana, so I hate to see that happen to him.
Hey, we appreciate that. It was great vibes in the city. Still proud of him. It was a hell of a run.
Yeah.
And I think everything you just said to Tyrese, I think he's feeling and viewing it the same way. Like from my conversations here on the first day with him, and I think Coach Carlisle said he called him this morning, and he answered on the first ring. "What's up, Coach? I'm good. Yep, we're going." Like, I think he is pretty eager to get the entire process. And his lady, Jade, is obviously ready to get into it as well. She's posted about all hands on deck, basically. Like, everybody is, moving forward in the same direction. And we will support the shit out of Tyrese through it all. On that note, before we let you go, if we miss the wedding, if there's a reception, we would like to be on the list.
Please.
Right?
Yep. Please.
We would like to be on the list. If there is a reception, if there is a celebration that happens or takes place, we would like to be on the list. And also, would contribute if there was any contributions needed in any particular fashion.
Buy a vacuum.
Exactly.
Registry. I can hit it.
Yeah, we can do whatever.
Yeah.
We can do whatever.
Cutting board.
Yeah.
AJ Hawk will do a hot five, do a stand-up.
Yep.
We can get him. We can negotiate that with AJ to get him to do that.
I understand it, but I'm not doing anything. I'm not out there out and about. I'm not doing any events. Like, I go to a couple of Mike's concerts. I went to minicamp. I'm going to Tahoe. Just see me in Tahoe. That's the only place I'll be.
How's the game?
I heard you're not going. The game is not great, but the course sets up perfect for me, so I'm gonna make a run.
You play great golf. First of all, I haven't played in 3.5. Hey, I'm actually in this thing. Where are you at? I'm third right now. Jesus Christ. You're golfing with the guys that golf every day of their lives and have become professional golfers in retirement. And then you just kind of show up. Where were you? I was in Hungary yesterday. When was the last time you picked up clubs? Last year, this tournament. Yeah. All right, we're teeing off. Me and Mr. Romo. Yeah, all right, we're going against. It's insane how good of a golfer you are, legitimately. And you're going to show up and do well at that Tahoe event. That Tahoe event's insane. You have to be a good golfer to enjoy it. Do you know that?
But I have the edge on people. I've played 20 years, so I've had crowds for 20 years. I've putted all the 2-footers for 20 years. That's what gets people, is the putting and in the crowds. They're just not used to it. So I'm like a 4 handicap, but I can beat scratch golfers who go out there because it's a tough thing to like wrap your head around.
He's a 4 handicap, and he says he's not good. That's what I'm saying. At this tournament, everybody sees Charles Barkley for those clips. And he wasn't good for a little bit. He's good now again, by the way. He wasn't good for a while, and everybody's like, oh, these guys stink at golfing that are out of Tahoe. That is not the case.
At all.
These guys are very good. You have to be a good golfer.
Well, Miz was there. So.
The Miz was the worst.
But Marty Fish.
Yeah.
What kind of club are you playing right now?
A-Rod had a rough year. A-Rod had a rough year, too, last year.
Don Cheadle. WD.
I played DB.
RG3, respectfully.
RG3 was very bad.
RG3 at the worst, yeah.
Yeah, but there's very good golfers.
Well, yeah.
These guys retire, and this becomes their thing.
Steph had his coaches.
2 of them.
Yeah, his golf.
Steph had 2 swing
There's some guys, there's a quarterback that plays in the Northeast that really wants to beat me badly, that plays, that brings some swing coaches out, I think as well.
Is he recently married?
He is.
Yeah, he might have been, yeah.
I don't want to talk about his private life, but
Last
congratulations.
year, he was ahead of me. He was ahead of me last year going into the final round. And I pulled a 71 out of my ass and beat him.
Jeez.
He wasn't too happy about it. So I know if he could beat anybody, he didn't care about winning, but if he could beat me this year, I know it'd be a big deal for
That's
him.
what I'm saying. That's who's playing at this Tahoe thing, this American Century thing. These people that are just pulling. He's a 4. I could play scratch, though. That's outrageous. That's outrageous.
Yeah, the hockey lads.
I still didn't know what type of sticks you swinging.
Tailor-made, DB.
Okay, so
and they sent me some sweet club heads too and a putter head. They're all alien, themed.
Love that.
Theme stuff. So
no
we
lab
love
putter.
that.
I appreciate you so much for joining us, man. Enjoy the off season. Enjoy the workouts. We can't wait to see you up there at training camp.
Hey, come on out to Latrobe, man. It's beautiful out there. That's what I hear.
Yeah, maybe.
It is beautiful out there.
I was there as a kid.
Do a little live show at training camp with the Steelers,
Yeah, let's
How
go
about
to
that? That's a
Dino's,
good
get
idea.
some wings.
Down at the
Tito's
Trobe.
with Glazer and Tomlin. Aaron,
It is time we go home.
And Brett Michaels.
Yeah.
Arthur Smith.
Artie.
Telling him to bring his brother.
Maybe we should go do a training camp. I don't know if we're allowed. We would have to get that would have to be approved by the Steelers.
Bert-
I think the Steelers would approve
Bert
that.
Artie.
there,
I
Troll.
just asked Bert. He approved.
Yeah, call Bert. Bert's in. Yeah, he's 100% in.
You talk about lighting down there. All right, we will.
Can we stop at Kennywood?
Yes.
Definitely.
Okay.
Hey, you know what? That's the one thing that I did. They went to Kennywood. The team had a team out at Kennywood. I missed it. I feel real bad about that. But shout out to Pittsburgh Dad for helping me understand all things Pittsburgh besides being with Mike McCarthy and Ben McAdoo and Alex Lampelt and Frank Cinetti and Darren Perry and Kevin Green and Luke Getsy and all the guys who've been in my life forever from Pittsburgh.
Yeah, we heard you rattle them off during the press conference when you were like, feels like I've been here, basically. Been down there in
I speak the language. I still get tickled when I hear, like, up air. Oh, you living up air?
Hey, we were with Mike McCarthy at the draft. That guy's, his Yinzer accent is thick.
The GOAT.
I mean, he is awesome.
He's the GOAT. He's the GOAT. Think about him calling plays 100 miles an hour with that accent. That's why I always say I can speak Pittsburghese, because I could understand what he was saying for 13 years as he was just rattling shit off so fast,
He said to me, I don't sound like that.
I'll talk like that.
I don't sound like that. That's not how I talk.
Yeah, you do, Coach.
It's like, that is exactly how you sound, like how my dad sounds and how, like, all my friends' dads sound. That's why the Pittsburgh dad character is so good, because, like, literally everybody in Pittsburgh is like, yup, heard that, through it all.
The people I met at the golf course, those people I saw at the hotel, they all sound like that. I was like, this is amazing. These are my people right here. These are my people. I love
you need to start picking it up. Like, when Americans go over to London and they start.
Sure.
Yeah.
I hate that. I hate that. Don't do that.
You need to do that in Pittsburgh. That's what I'm saying.
That's okay. Yeah. Well, I didn't really do that in Green Bay. I didn't. I got the lingo down, but it didn't enter into my own personal diction or vocabulary. So
you drop a third down, boys, with mic'd up coming with the helmet on. I mean, that would be a great clip. Great clip. If you want to motivate the boys, especially Zach there at center, just say third down.
There's not going to be any third downs.
Oh, we're playing two
No
down
third
football?
down all season long.
The money down.
No.
Canada.
First and second.
What about Danny Smith though?
Oh,
big fan of.
So much gum. I don't know if you saw any performances at mandatory minicamp of him chewing gum, but I've seen him 30, 40 pieces of gum in his mouth at one time while doing stuff on the sideline. Legend.
I think he's got a lower back tattoo too. I can't confirm or deny that. But the best thing was that I saw him Friday at there he is right there. I saw him Friday at Tomlin's. I see him the next day at Cam's. He's wearing the same shirt. It's a shirt from he goes out to vacations in South Carolina. He's best friends with Bisaccia, who I love, Rich Bisaccia, who's in Green Bay. And has words in the back. Okay, good.
He's the greatest. Special teams coordinator for the Pittsburgh Steelers from Pittsburgh. Will be a
Coach Dan Marino.
Did he really? I did not know that.
Yeah, just ask him.
All right. We appreciate it, ladies and gentlemen. That's four-time NFL MVP, Steelers quarterback Aaron Rodgers. Thank you, buddy.